This video is going to demonstrate some of the service invoicing advanced features. This video assumes that you have already watched the service invoicing basics video in its entirety and possibly even entered some test service tickets into a live system. Currently, we're displaying the service invoicing open tickets list. These are the tickets that are currently open and active with work being applied to them. Down in the left-hand corner, you have a button called Quote. Quote brings up a list of service estimates and also service appointments. So an advisor can look at this and see what his upcoming appointment schedule is. When a customer calls in to set an appointment to bring their unit in service, your receptionist will have the advisor calendar up on the screen. This calendar displays to her all available advisors and any jobs or appointments that they already have assigned to them. Let's say that a customer is calling the receptionist and wants to bring their unit in for an oil change. She double clicks on the calendar and the system will ask her if she wants to create a new appointment. She'll say yes. And like you saw in the demonstration in the service invoicing basics, type in the name of the customer and type in what they're coming in for. At that point, she can close the ticket and now she can move the appointment to whichever time slot works for the dealership and the customer. If the customer wants to bring their unit in for service on another day, just hold the control key down on your keyboard and click the day. And the system will display both days at the same time. So now we have Saturday and Monday. So we can move this appointment to Monday the 23rd. I can open up another day if you said to the customer, well, we also have some availability on the 24th. So that's how you display multiple days, and you can move the document to any one of these slots for any one of these advisors. Once you have agreed upon a set appointment time, click the email appointment. And this will generate a calendar attachment that you can send to the customer so they can just click on it and it will automatically put that appointment into their smartphone's calendar and give them an alert as a reminder to bring their unit in for that service appointment. At this point, we can just hit apply and the receptionist can leave this screen up on her terminal waiting for the next phone call. If you want to take the dates off, hold the control key down and click the dates that you want to remove. If you know that one of your service advisors has called in sick or is going to be gone for the day and you just want to take them off the screen, just uncheck the visible and you'll notice that they've disappeared from the screen, making it easier to schedule appointments. Clicking it back on brings the advisor back up. If you want to print your calendar out, click the print button and you can put all the appointments onto a piece of paper that you can hand out to your service advisors. Now, when John Stevens comes in and pulls up the calendar, he can see the work that he's got coming in from these appointments. Again, he may want to only see his work, so he can uncheck both of those items, and then he's going to see all of the jobs that are just listed for him. So when Mr. Smith shows up with his unit, the service advisor just needs to double click and open the RO. And it takes him directly to the RO that was started by the receptionist. After he's talked with the customer, they may determine that they're going to flush the radiator. And the service advisor is going to change this from an appointment to an actual live invoice. And now he can click the print button, print a customer copy, and have the customer sign and exit the RO. Back on the service advisor's open ticket list now, we'd be able to search and find Gary Smith, which is the invoice that we had just created. And at this point, we can see 0 of 2 jobs completed. At this time, the service advisor wants to schedule out some of this work. So he opens the RO up, sees the work that he has to have done, and clicks on the scheduling tab. At this point, clicks the schedule button because he's going to manually move this job to one of his mechanics. And now he's on the dispatch screen. The dispatch screen is just like the service advisor's calendar, but in this case, it's showing the mechanics going across the top versus showing the advisors. So we're going to hand this to this mechanic. Click Apply and hit OK. Now on the mechanic's terminal, when they come up and log in, they will see these jobs have been assigned to them. And we can schedule job number 2. And we'll take this over to Weinman. And we'll hit Apply. And you see that Weinman's been scheduled as the mechanic on it. Now that the service advisor has distributed some of the work to the mechanics, they can walk up to their terminal near their bay and type in the letter M for mechanic and their employee number. When they hit enter, the system will drill down to only the invoices that they are assigned to. When you click the open button, it gives him a clock in screen. On that clock in screen, it tells him the complaint, cause, and correction that were entered in on the job. If he needs more information, he can click the View Repair Order. Now on the View Repair Order for a mechanic, it automatically opens up to the flag times. He has the ability to clock in right here on the RO versus clocking in on the clock in screen that was just previously displayed. But from this area, he can type in any notes that he has to type in, and he can do any parts requests. When he's done viewing the RO, he can close it and he can clock in. As you can see now, the system has highlighted in red that he is clocked in on the job, and he can go off and do the work. When he comes back to the screen, he can click the open button, and the computer remembers that he is clocked in and has yet to clock out, and thus the clock out is in red. He just needs to clock out, and his times are calculated and automatically put into the flag times file so that the service advisors can easily do their flag time reports for payroll. Back on the dispatch screen, it has now been updated to show us that this job is in process, being worked on by the mechanic. We can also look at the scheduling tab and even drill down and see more information about the job. And on this screen here, it can also be set to drill down to specific advisors. You can sort by start date and start time, just like you can do with all yellow filter bars. There are times where you will need to put in generic appointments onto this calendar, or even just notes. And you can do that by just double clicking, and it pops up and says New Appointment. You can type in the appointment. You can select the color that you want and save it. So you can have multiple appointments and reminders if somebody's taking some time off. This way, the dispatchers know exactly what's going on and they can color code specific types of appointments. We suggest in dealerships that if you want to put in time off appointments and other notifications, that you come up with a color chart so that everybody in the dealership understands just by looking at the color what that means. The dispatcher can also jump right to the parts allocation. If he has ROs that are out there waiting for parts, he can look here and see all of the ROs that he has and make sure that if the parts are received, he can go ahead and start that job. For example, we'll spread this out and we'll type in service. So we can see all of the service tickets, and we have a notification here on invoice 5804, repair number 1. The parts are now in stock and on hand. So at this point that we know that it's on hand, we can double click on the record selector, which are these little boxes here next to each record. So if I double click it, it opens up the RO. And we can change the status from waiting for parts back to invoice, and I know that I can schedule that job for the mechanic. If the customer has already taken their unit home with them because you're waiting on parts, you can click the View Customer button, and that brings up the customer's information screen, and you can make a phone call to them. If there was a cell phone number in here, you could click the blue cell phone label and send a text message, or you can send them an email by clicking the blue email label. Let's go back to the Service Advisors view again and open this ticket up. Now we're going to do an example of a flat rate. We told the customer we're going to bill them 1 hour, and we're going to pay the mechanic just for 1 hour. And then we use repair code pricing. As you can see, the mechanic has worked for 1.5 hours of actual time. The computer hasn't updated the payable yet. Now when the service advisor or mechanic changes the job status to completed, it goes back to the repair info. On close of this ticket, we'll close this out, and then we're going to reopen it back up. Go to job 2, and you can see now that the computer has readjusted the payable hours for this mechanic. So he's worked 1.5 hours, but because you're on a flat rate system, you're only going to pay him the 1 hour. The actual time shows you his efficiency or inefficiency compared to what you're actually paying him. The computer system will track all of the flag times and all of the flat rates and even post that to payroll. Or if you're using an outside payroll service, it will produce a report that can be submitted. There are times, however, that a service advisor may decide to pay a mechanic for extra time on a job. Possibly there was just more work that was unforeseen and you're not going to be able to cover that from the customer. If that's the case, the service advisor needs only to click into the payable field and type in the amount of hours he wants to pay. To make sure that your flag times stay in line with your payroll dates, the computer is going to ask you to enter in the payroll adjustment date. What this is used for is many times service advisors are going to go through on Monday, review all of the flag times for the prior week. So if we're going to make an adjustment to the payroll which ended last Friday and it's a Monday, we want to backdate these adjustments. So that pop-up there allows me to put in the date for the payroll that this adjustment is going to hit. So in this case here, we're going to pay 2.5 hours. Now the system also knows, based on payroll, that if he's worked for a half an hour on a 2-hour flat rate and the payroll period ends, the payroll will go ahead and pay him for that 0.5 hours, and then when the next payroll comes around and he's finished the job and gets the full 2 hours, it will pay him the difference. So the system will track how much he has been paid on the job and how much is still owed to him when the job ends up being completed and he gets the final amount of the flat. In some dealerships, there will be designated salespeople that sell service jobs, and they get paid commission on the jobs that they sell. So if a customer has this unit in for service and one of these designated salespeople come up to him and talk him into purchasing additional products, you'll want to get him commission on that. You do that by clicking the letter E down under the complaints section. This brings up the jobs and tells you what salesperson is getting credit for at this point in time. It defaults to the service advisor who is on the ticket. But they just have to hit drop-down box and select the specified salesperson that's going to get credit for it. By the service color key chart here, we can see that repair number 2 has been completed and repair number 1 is still active and being worked on. When you click on a repair, it turns blue, telling you that is the repair that has the focus, and all the information is related to that repair. You have view history by customer, and you have view history by VIN number. If you click on the view history by customer, you're going to get a listing of all of the vehicles that the customer has ever had serviced here in your dealership. And then below that, you'll see all of the repairs that are associated with the highlighted vehicle. Now, if we do a VIN search for vehicle history, this gives you all of the people that have owned that VIN number, and you can click the expansion icon to see the unit. You see that that VIN has been attached to this, so you get a complete history if somebody sold their vehicle to a third party or came back to your dealership and traded it in. We've already shown you the quote button that lists all of your quotes and appointments. The open repair list showing you all active and repairs that are being worked on at the time. The closed but not cashed out button is for those ROs that all of the work has been completed, but the customer has yet to come back and pick up their unit. This ticket is in your closed but not cashed out, and it is also listed on the cashier's invoice screen right here. If we go back to our invoicing section, we get an entire list of the things that were closed but not cashed out, and this is something that is very important that your service advisors keep track of, because you could have quite a bit of outstanding money waiting on the cashier's board that is not being collected. Now, if you want to reopen that ticket and do some more work on it, you just need to open the ticket up, go to the external status, and change it from closed back to an invoice. And you can start doing the work, and then when you're done again, you can go ahead and just close the ticket. Now, the closed and cashed out are all of the past tickets that you have completed the jobs, sent to the cashier, the customer has paid for the unit and taken the unit away. The next button is your voided. These are all your voided tickets. Now, to void a ticket is quite simple. Open the ticket up, go to your external status, and go all the way down to the voided status. Now it's going to ask you for comments as to why you're voiding it, and you hit OK. The header turns to red, you close it out, and now it is on the voided list. The warranty clerk list is for all jobs that have warranty work that has not been submitted to the manufacturer or the extended warranty company for collection. Let's open one of these jobs up. And the warranty clerk can see all the work that was done. Now, the customer has already came and paid for the repairs that they had on customer pay, or picked the unit up and taken it home. So after the fact, the warranty clerk can come in and actually edit the warranty lines. These are the only lines that are editable. Those are the ones that have the tag of an M for warranty, or a P for extended warranty. And the reason why we allow them to modify those jobs is because they have to come in and put specific information in to submit the claim. And they may have to work on the description to get in a way that the warranty company that it is acceptable to the warranty company. Now, on a warranty, they do have the ability to change the warranty from an extended warranty to a service policy charge. And if they do that, they're going to have to select the GL account number and give comments as to why they decided to write off that warranty claim. Now that's a security permission that you can give to your warranty clerk, or you can deny her from changing these without having a manager come in and do that for them. Once they get all of the information about the claim entered in, and they just will click the option for submitted. Once all of the jobs have been submitted, the warranty ticket will disappear from the warranty clerk's list. Warranty credits can be processed either in the service department or the accounting department. It is the same module with just 2 access points. Please review the warranty credits video in the accounting videos section. The cashier's window we've already demonstrated allows them to open and cash out the tickets. The cashier needs to open her cash drawer though, so that the computer system knows your beginning balances. In this case, our cash drawer is already open, so when we clicked it displayed the closing cash drawer screen. This is where you type in all of your change to balance your cash drawer out. To accept a payment on account, use the search by functionality, which is standard throughout the system. Type in what they're paying for, maybe an invoice number, and the amount. Click cash out, take the money, print the receipt. To search for invoices, you can search by customer's name or company name or their entity number, or you can get detailed into like a stock number or VIN number, license plate, etc. Once you've filled in the parameters that you want to search for, just click the search button. If the screen has information already on it, you can type the clear button and it clears all fields. To go into flag time mode, click the flag time mode button at the bottom, and each time that you open up a ticket, the computer is going to pop up with the flag time information. So the service advisor, if you're using the flag time input screen, you can make any modifications that you need to do on each one of the ROs. Then you just close out the RO and open up the next one, and it pops the flag time screen for you. To get out of flag time mode, just click the button and it'll toggle it on and off. Now anytime that I'm on a screen and I want to pull up a document like a parts ticket or an RO number, there's a feature where if you just start typing on the screen, you don't have to click anything. I just type, and in this case I'm going to type 5990, and you can see down here in the bottom left hand box it said I5990, meaning invoice 5990. So we can hit enter and it automatically retrieves that invoice. You can also do that with a barcode scanner, because each parts ticket or service ticket has a barcode in the top right hand corner. Scanning that immediately pulls that service ticket to the screen. An option while you have an invoice open is the flagging. This is an alert system for the customer, or also for notes. For example, we've looked at this unit and we've noticed that it needs new tires. So we can put an advisor comment in, needs new tires, We know that we've talked to the customer about it, so this is also a notation for that. And you can put this in that an email is going to be sent out in 180 days. You can also set up a usage estimate per month. So if it's like a lube, oil, and filter, where you want it to go every 4,000 miles, and you're estimating this person is driving approximately 2,000 miles a month, you put in that they are driving 2,000, and you want the maintenance cycle to be every 4,000. So if you have a maintenance cycle, the computer will do an estimate saying every 2 months we need to send a oil change reminder to this customer via email. You can also plug in an actual date. If all of these are set to 0 all the way across, it'll pick up and send out on the date that you have entered in there. On the Tools menu, you have an option that is very useful for service advisors. It's called Split an Invoice. This is used when the customer needs to come pick up their unit and some of the jobs have not been completed. So what you can do is you check off the ones that you want to split, and they will be moved off to a separate invoice. So I'm going to hit OK here. And you can see that the oil change is still here on this ticket. And if you look up here in the document number, it went from 5998 to 5998A. This repair, number 2, has been moved to an invoice 5998B. So if I close this ticket out, I will now see 2 Gary Smith tickets. Gary can come in and we can deliver his unit to him and charge him for ticket A, and when he brings it back and we have the parts and whatever that we needed to finish that job, we can continue with the repairs on 5998B. Other features that you can set up in your customer waiting room is a display monitor, and that display monitor will pick up information for the customer. So all of the customers that are in your waiting room that have been flagged as yes for waiting, their name and repair order number will display on that large screen monitor, and it will show them the updates as to how many jobs are completed out of the number of jobs on the ticket. As it flashes through and tells them the status of their job, that will clear out and you'll be able to run some advertisement in between each time that the job is going to be refreshed. There's also another feature that can be activated where an email is sent out to the customer letting them know the status of their repair order, and the status of the repair order will be posted up onto your website. So if they need to go to their website and look it up, they can see that their repairs are being completed, and when the RO is closed out, they'll have a notification that they can come pick up their unit. This is very handy to eliminate the amount of phone calls that come into the service department just asking what is the status of my unit and when can I come. You can also put big screen monitors out in your service bays, and those will display information about the jobs that are assigned to a mechanic. If a mechanic starts to go over his time limit on a flat rate job, the display will start to flash a red alert on that job so that an advisor can check with the mechanic to find out what is the issue with the overtime. But the advisors can also send a message to a mechanic or to all of the mechanics on the display screen. So if you wanted to pop a message that said all mechanics need to report to the service conference room for a meeting, that would be displayed up there on the mechanics monitor, or you could actually direct it at an individual mechanic. So if we want to go to an individual mechanic, we could type a note in for them.